Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ted Kruger bringing you another build video. So, look, I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible. There's a lot that goes into this, but I'll try to be as thorough but as quick as I can. All right. So, Iron Horse Raid, boss number two. I believe his name is Captain Pfizer or Fisher or something like that. But if you're tanking him, you will be inside the hot box, or what I refer to as the hot box. Some people call it inside the furnace, whatever you want to call it. It's boss two, right? So the key to boss two is three important things. Well, four. Let's say four. One is the RAV. In order to do this, you're going to need a RAV. Secondly, will be fire resistance slash Hasbro. Third will be um, what do you call it? Armor regen. So you'll need as much armor regen as you possibly can, and we'll get into the numbers in just a second. And then finally, as much armor as possible. So keep those four things in mind. So the first thing I said is RAV, right? So you need the Ravenous in order to do it like this. All right. So you fire. If you fire over the left shoulder, it's going to put a defensive primer on it. And then once you switch and fire to the right, it detonates it and it gives you bonus armor, right? So you'll see in the video what I'll do is I'll shoot five from the left and then one from the right because that creates a max detonation, which is going to give me double the amount of what the bonus armor would normally give me, right? So you'll see five from the left and then one from the right. Then switch five to the left, one to the right. I'll switch that back and forth, usually through the entirety of a whole magazine, right? So that's what happens there is the more bonus armor that you can give yourself, and the longer you can give yourself that bonus armor, the more you have for your armor regeneration to kick in and keep you in the game. Okay, so mastering the ability to work left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, right. Then the less armor regen you have, the more you're going to have to do it. So, speaking of armor regen, let's get an armor regen. Every single piece you will notice has armor regen rolled on it. Every single piece has armor regen on it, right? And the reason that armor regen is so important is because, and we'll take a look at the stats. So I have 45.2, right? Which is about right. It's about where you want to be. Because if you're in that 42 and 43 range, you're going to have to fire from the left. You're going to have to switch shoulders quite a bit. Instead of the normal five from the left and one from the right, you're going to end up having to put yourself into a one left, one right, one left, one right, one left, one right, and that just gets annoying, and it's just a whole lot of work because you have lower armor regen, right? So you want to boost up your armor regen as high as you can possibly get it. 43 is serviceable, but you really want to be in that 44, 45, 46 range, okay? And the higher the better, obviously, all right? So that's armor regen. The next thing I talked about was Hasbro, right? Once again, all these pieces have Hasbro. Every piece is maxed out Hasbro, right? So with that being said, so that's six pieces maxed out Hasbro, so that's automatically 60 right there. On top of the 70 that I would normally that you get from the Y'all Gear set. I'm sorry, on top of the 10 you get from the Y'all Gear set, that makes it 70. Then you also get 10 from your watch. So that's 80 base hazard protection. Now, if you notice, I have the demolition specialization on. That gives you a free 20% burn resistance. So with your 80 base and plus 20, that's 100% burn resistance. So that's a key component to staying in there is, being able to resist being in the hot box. All right. So we went over armor regen, we went over Hasbro, we went over, let's talk about armor, right? You want the most amount of armor as you can because, it's going to be, while you're inside the hot box, it's going to be slowly taking off your armor. The more armor you have, the more time you have for your armor regen to kick in. Everything works together, right? Finally, let's talk about this ACS-12. No, before I continue, let me give a shout out to Gunny because he's the one that gave me this. I'm not going to take any credit for this build. This is a build that was passed to me by Gunny. So shout out to Gunny for putting me on game on this. I don't know, maybe the build was passed along to him. I don't really know, but he's the one that taught me how this works. So I want to make sure he gets the credit for that. So I used the ACS-12 for the backpack. And if you notice the pieces here, so I have one piece of Badger, well, I have two pieces, but one of those, the first piece is going to give me shotgun damage. You also see a red here. So we have 10% shotgun damage from the Badger Tough, and then we have a 15% weapon damage from the Walker Harris, right? Because he's going to go through a white mechanic, and in order to stop that white mechanic, you're going to need to have just a slight amount of DPS in order to stop the white mechanic, right? So that takes care of the ACS and why that's there and why it's Badger Tough and why it's one Walker Harris. You need a little bit of damage to stop that white mechanic, and you'll see that in the video. So we have two pieces of Badger Tough. Once again, we're talking about as much armor as possible. So that's giving me 5% more armor. And then I have Gilligar, which gives me another 5% armor, right? And then we talked about armor regen. So I have the Bellstone for the armor regen. So all these things all work into, like I said, it all sounds complex, but everything is a very simple piece, right? Everything is armor regen, Hasbro. I have Intimidate on the chest, and I have Adrenaline Rush on the backpack. This is to help boost that damage even more, because stopping the wipe is probably the second, one of the most important jobs you have, right? Stopping the wipe. Because if you keep getting wiped, they're going to have to keep resetting your hive, and eventually the hive won't be able to get reset, and it just spirals out of control if you can't stop the wipe. So that's why you see Intimidate on the chest and Adrenaline Rush on the back, right? So I believe that's all the pieces. The ACS isn't that, I mean, it's guard roll, but it's not the best attribute. Like I said, I'd rather have damage out of cover instead of health damage, but it is what it is on that. Optimus is a great talent. And I believe that's it. I have the decoy, because when you're getting ready to jump on the water, sometimes if you throw that decoy out there, it can really grab his attention. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'll take a 50-50 chance over no chance at all. And of course you have your revive hive in case something happens, you can at least get yourself up. We already looked at the stats, but I'll show you one more time. I'm at 45.2 on the armor regen. Like here's my 80% base, and then here's my 100% burn resistance. Okay, so that's the gist of the build. I'm not going to continue to talk you guys to death. Like I said, I want to make this video as short as possible, but in the video coming up, you guys will see, everything that goes into being in the hot box. You'll see where the codes come from. You'll see what the white mechanic looks like. You'll see where you need to be for water. You'll see what happens after water. It takes you from literally the moment I walk into the door of the hot box to the moment that the boss is dead. So if any y'all got any questions, you know where to find me. I'm on the LCN Discord, Identity Discord, GC Rock Discord. Shout out to my boys, Mr. Six. Shout out to my boys, Sweet. And shout out to the whole LCN clan, man. Much love and respect. Anyway, y'all know where to find me. Give me a holler. Peace.
225, Tyson.
Yep.
Letting you into it.
Roger.
Hostile radio intercepted.
So what is it then?
Lieutenant Grayfield.
So here I want to draw your attention. This is where you are getting all your codes from, right? All your codes will come from above B door. I'm going to be putting up the codes on the screen to the left right here so that you see the first letter equals a number of screen, the number of the screen that will be inside the control room. Boss comes out, I throw my decoy just because, I don't know, give me time to see this code. I see there that it's £, I know this £, 45, so I tell them screen 6. So I do my 5 left, 1 right. It's gonna knock you around. That's absolutely fine. You just continue to sit in there, stack bonus armor. So what's gonna happen is after the 3rd code, he's gonna go for his white mechanic. So that's 2 codes. This is the 3rd one. I tell him that it is screen 4. Five left, then go right. So something that I'm doing is I'm also taking off some of his armor so that we can kill him faster when it's time. But normally, that's just something that I personally do. But you want to go 5 left, 1 right. He's doing his white mechanic. I pull my ACS out. My Intimidator's procced, got his backpack, I go back to reading codes. I tell him the code. This should put us at 75%. Stacking my armor. Give myself my armor gen time to heal me, because you're constantly taking damage inside this hot box. Alright, now just take a little quick glance around right there, checking for the code. I just saw the code, but I missed it. So I told him code is scrolling. I see it's a F. F equals 1. I just say 1. Go stacking my armor again, taking off some of his, put mine up. Very simple. It's a very simple rinse and repeat process. Taking some of his off, adding some bonus armor to myself, taking some of his off, adding some to myself. So that's all you're doing. Just taking some of his off and adding some to yourself the whole fight. And looking for codes. We're at 100%. You can see that crucible lift behind them. So what's going on now is the control room people are moving the crucible, and someone is going to be coming in to shoot the weak points. So my job is to keep them busy at whatever the opposite side is of the person who came in. Right? So they came in C side, so I brought them over to A side, and I'm just keeping them busy so he doesn't burn my person who's shooting the weak points. This would be a good time for a decoy as well, just in case you happen to lose some of the aggro or whatever, or just to give yourself some time to heal up. You're going for the white mechanic. What I do is stack my bonus armor up, so I make sure my Intimidator's procced. Stop the white mechanic. Right? They said we're ready for water. What I do, I throw my decoy out, because what's happening is once you're on, oh yeah, this is the point where we ended up giving too much water into the pipe, so this all got reset. So normally you would throw throw your decoy out, and it would distract him while you get onto the water. Because if you're on the water and he's burning you, your health's going to drop fast, and that actually happens in this video, and you'll see that. So here they said we're ready for water. So what I do is I get since I don't have the decoy, I don't have a choice. I just get up on that cannon. He's cooking me, and of course I can't stack any armor regen. So on top of the boss shooting me with his flamethrower, I'm also taking damage from the hot box, but I gotta get this water. Waiting for the water. Water still hasn't came yet, which is very unfortunate for me. So you see that I go down here. As soon as we get water, I go down, which is, it's okay though. It's all right. So you just don't worry, don't panic. Get yourself up, grab that water, and shoot that bad boy. As soon as you get water and you start shooting, you need to let them know what door they need to be in. Or someone needs to let them know what door to be in. I'll die again before I can heal up. But that's fine. Someone's going to come in, throw me a hive, revive me. We'll finish off the boss. Your job in there is to tank the boss so he doesn't destroy the window. Stop the wipe. Call the codes. Shoot the water. That's your priorities. Okay? Codes, water, wipe.